Hello and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Barjo.
And I'm Darren. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to all those viewers that sent an email saying just how much they loved my new Let's Cheat with Darren segment in last week's show.
Oh, Darren, that's great. How many emails did you get?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. Far too many to count.
Oh, go on, Darren. Don't hold back.
Well, one.
One?
Yes, one. But it was a very nice one.
Mumbot again?
Let's stop all this jibber-jabber, shall we, and get on with things. Time waits for no robot.
Lols, okay, well today we're going to be looking at a game that's won numerous independent game awards, Max and the Magic Marker.
We'll find out which game set in space you voted for in Spawn Point Selects.
And we meet Australia's best Guitar Hero player.
And keep watching, Mumbot, as there'll be more of me.
In the vein of games like Scribblenauts and Okami, we've been seeing more and more puzzle platformers that allow gamers to get more involved in the game's environment by writing or drawing the items that are needed to solve the puzzle. Most recently, we've been playing Max and the Magic Marker. It's available through WiiWare, but we've been playing the PC version.
Max is a young red-headed boy who receives a magic marker in the mail, but he doesn't realise just how magic it actually is until one of the creatures he draws comes to life and invades his other drawings. Armed with his trusty magic marker, Max sets out to capture him.
With your magic marker, you can draw platforms, stairs, catapults, rocks to squash baddies, and so on to help you get through the levels. But your magic marker needs ink to draw, which you'll need to collect. Often you'll find there's only just enough ink available to complete the puzzle, so you'll need to have a few goes drawing different things with the limited supply that you have.
Erasing your drawing does refill your ink though, so you can retry as many times as you want. Initially, you'll just be drawing boxes and slopes to help Max get about the place, but then later on, you have to think more about weight and physics, such as building a seesaw when dropping a rock on one side so you can propel Max at just the right angle to get through an area.
Yeah, not to mention that pesky monster you created has a vacuum cleaner and keeps vacuuming up all your ink when you need it most.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me. It's like they couldn't think of a better way to make things more challenging, so they just temporarily strip you of your powers. It's just a bit lame and obvious, and they keep doing it throughout the game.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, occasionally you'll run into these little blob enemies, which were pretty underwhelming as far as enemies go. I mean, they move pretty slowly and they're pretty easily squashable with a rock from above. You know, this is supposed to be Max's imagination where anything is possible. It didn't do much to impress me.
You can't draw through items in the world, which occasionally presents problems, but not ones that can't be fixed by hitting spacebar to take you outside your imagined world and allow you to draw whilst time is frozen. This was particularly useful when needing to make a platform on top of a geyser so you can reach those high ink bubbles.
Now, this game won a whole bunch of awards, so I was really looking forward to playing it. And while the art had a definite charm to it, and I relished the opportunity to hook up my graphics tablet so that I could actually draw within the world in a way that felt like I was involved, frankly, I still expected more.
I felt they worked really hard at making the physics of things work, like the mass to gravity ratio. All the weighted items felt like they should. But even though the game got more challenging as it went on, there were none of those wow moments, and it just kind of felt samey to me, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was addictive, and I loved working out which items would work and which ones wouldn't, and I was constantly racking my brain trying to think of past items I'd drawn that might work again. But, you know, I agree, it did get a bit familiar after a while, and I would have thought Max's imagination would have given me more variety. So I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Alright, Hex, what quizzical conundrums do the Spawn have for us this time?
Well, all sorts as always, Badge, but how about we start this week with some zombie love with this from Jackson in Brisbane.
On Plants vs. Zombies, does Crazy Dave ever stop choosing your plants? Well, Jackson, if Crazy Dave is choosing some of your plants, that's because you finished the adventure mode once before.
Yeah, he's choosing 3 of your plants to give you a bit more of a challenge. If you are finding it a bit difficult though, then it may be worth unlocking the extra plant slot from Crazy Dave's shop, if you haven't already.
Or you could just restart the game with a new profile.
Alright, well next one is this from Braden in Casino, New South Wales.
Did you know Halo Wars is rated PG? We did know that, thanks Brayden, but when we were saying we can't show Halo, we were referring to the main games in the franchise that involve all the pew-pew action.
Yeah, but we can definitely show you Halo Wars. Alright, we're moving on to this one from Jamesy in Melbourne, Victoria.
I always see you showing Xbox 360 games when it's on both consoles. Why don't you use a PS3?
Well, Jamesy, there's certainly no preference from us either way. Often we're sent games before they're released so that we have a chance to play and review them for the show. So in that case, it really depends on what format we get sent by the developer.
Also, it makes next to no difference 99% of the time to the gameplay, but next time we get code for both versions, we'll play it on PS3 just for you. Alright, moving on to this one from Ali in Valentine, New South Wales.
Hey Hex, why did you dye your hair pink? It looks cool, but what made you do it? Hey Ali, well, I guess I just felt like it, and I love games, and game characters get to have crazy hair, so I figured, why can't I? Stop that. Next up is this from Danny in Cromer, New South Wales.
What is an Easter egg and what does it do?
Well, Danny, Easter eggs, when not referring to the chocolatey goodness, can be found all over the place in movies, on the internet, and even in music. But in a game, an Easter egg is simply something that the developers have hidden. They're often jokes or messages to the player. Typically, they don't really do anything and are just there to be found.
One of the first Easter eggs ever was programmed into the Atari 2600 game Adventure, where if you found a 1-dot pixel and brought it to a certain point, it would display the message created by Warren Robinette. Not very exciting, but there you go.
And my favourite was when I found Yoshi on the castle roof by getting all the stars in Super Mario 64. I'm sad I couldn't ride him though. Time for just one more, and it's from Jack in Albury, New South Wales.
How was Darren created? Well, what a story. Darren was created by...
I'll take this one.
Darren, don't hack the show.
Oh, go on, let him, just this once.
Dear Jack, thank you for your letter. In response to your question, I'm afraid that we can't reveal the secrets of my construction, lest the technology fall into the hands of a foreign power, or worse, a rival network. But we can share some statistics, and they're quite impressive, even if I do say so myself. And I do. My internal atomic power plant can generate up to 1.21 gigawatts of power, enough to challenge and defeat 4,096 gamers simultaneously. My rocket feet can propel me at speeds of up to Mach 25, and I can even fly into space for when ABC satellites need repair. My laser can burn through up to 128 inches of battleship-grade armor plating, and I can accurately hit a bullseye at distances of up to 1,024 kilometers. As for my singing voice, not only can I sing through the full range of human hearing, I can also perform any song from any genre, well into the infrabass and ultra treble. Than ever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. In short, I am the ultimate gaming and singing machine. Best regards, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.
You're welcome.
Well, that's it for this time. If you have a question for us or Darren, please be sending it here.
Hi, my name's Joel. I'm 16 years old, and gaming is a big part of my life. My gaming setup consists of two 360s. I also have my PC, a Wii at my dad's place, and many games. All up, I have probably around 40 or so, not including the games on my PlayStation 2, which would make it around 60. My earliest memory of gaming is staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning playing Donkey Kong Country. I still remember throwing barrels as DK and Diddy Kong and riding an emu. Just awesome fun. I first got into gaming when my dad brought home the Nintendo 64 when I was around 6 or 7. And I started playing games such as Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart, and it's just slowly progressed from there. My best gaming moment to date is going to Sydney in 2008 and winning the national title for Guitar Hero in the World Cyber Games. I've competed against 10 or so other players. I viewed other Australian players online and thought of myself as a bit better than them. And when I got there, there was another guy there about my standard who I played in the final. And we had quite a few good matches that were close. But yeah, I've ended up here. I've represented Australia in the World Cyber Games, and I've represented Australia in Germany and China for the 2 World Games, and in Singapore in the Asian Championships. It was a pretty amazing feeling. My favourite game at the moment is Rock Band 2, which is just like Guitar Hero, but better. I like Rock Band 2 because there are a lot more songs on it. The difficulty varies from really easy to really hard. It's just lots of fun. The best effect that games have had on me is that I've been overseas 3 times now in 2 years, and I'd never been overseas before that. I've been to countries that I probably never would have visited, like China and Singapore. I've met friends in these countries. I've become closer to my friends here just by playing games. It's an overall good thing. I think games will play a big part of my life to come. They've played a big part of my life to date, with lots of experiences coming out of that, and I hope there'll be a lot more experiences to come.
The One Face Review will be back next time. And Darren, you had a worthy victim to put up for the vote, didn't you?
Affirmative. I am most curious as to what the Spawn Point viewers think of Crash Bandicoot, that mad mohawked marsupial of the platforming genre.
Right, well, okay, Spawnlings, start sending in your photos with a thumbs up for awesome, thumbs sideways for average, and a thumbs down for awful of what you think of Crash Bandicoot and an appropriate facial expression. You can send them into our website.
Affirmative.
We get a lot of emails asking us to review this game and that game, so we thought there was only one solution. We get you to vote on the Spawn Point website, and then we review the winning game here on the show in a new segment called Spawn Selects.
And this week the theme was space, so we put 3 galactic greats up for contention. Space Invaders from the arcade era, first released in 1978, Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, launched in 2007, and Lylat Wars, the classic from 1998 for the Nintendo 64. Darren, how did the votes tally?
The Spawn Point website was visited by thousands of gamers, Barjo, with an overwhelming majority voting for Super Mario Galaxy.
Well, the spawners have demanded it, so we shall review it. Hex, why don't you start with your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think although Super Mario Galaxy was released almost 3 years ago, it's still one of my favourite Wii games. You know, it may seem weird to put Super Mario in space, but I think Nintendo really took a bizarre concept and made it work in spectacular style.
The game is called the spiritual successor to the very first 3D Mario game, the totally brilliant Super Mario 64. All the old elements of Mario had been shoehorned into this game: jumping, rolling, ducking, old friends, and memorable adversaries, and of course the best boss of all time, Bowser.
You have to remember too, Barjo, that when this game was released, the Wii was still a relatively new console, so we were still getting to grips, literally, with waving our arms around and Wiimotes and nunchucks. Running around a planet, and I mean around, looked amazing, but more importantly, it was really fun.
The Mario Galaxy story is about the same as every other Mario game. He's on his way to meet Princess Peach, and oh no, she goes and gets herself kidnapped again by Bowser.
And so begins your adventure, this time set in an observatory in space, travelling to different galaxies, solving puzzles, and defeating bosses to unlock stars. The more stars you get, the more galaxies you unlock.
It's not an easy game, is it, Hex?
Not at all. It really does challenge gamers of all ages. Some of the bosses can be quite nasty, and it's frustratingly easy to fall off planets into outer space.
I think the best bits are when Mario gets to transform. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is less than 30 sleeps away, woo! And we'll definitely be reviewing it, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what new stuff they throw in there.
Yeah, I mean, you always hope they add some new things, but still keep that Mario magic. But what is certain is that the Spawn have excellent taste, as this is one of the best games, if not the best game for the Wii.
I think we need to make it a little harder on the spawners next time, Hex. How about we go for a role-playing game theme?
Oh, great idea.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to pick the original Legend of Zelda, released way back in 1986.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, nice choice.
And I choose Kingdom Hearts, the PS2 game from 2002.
All right, time to head over to the website and cast your votes. Darren, the website, if you please.
Processing. Processing.
Come on.
Sorry, got some lag. And there we go.
There.
You must love role-playing games, Barger.
I do.
You get to pretend to be somebody else.
Someone with a mighty sword.
And a hat.
Affirmative.
Well, gamers, sadly that brings us to the end of another episode of Spawn Point.
But we shall return next week.
Yes, with the new racer, split-second velocity.
Don't forget to vote on the role-playing game you'd like us to feature on the show next time.
I predict a very close vote on that one.
I think so. Well, that's it for us. Darren, what are you playing this weekend?
Well, I thought I might give Kingdom Hearts a bit of a spin. It's been years since I wielded my Keyblade.
Well, who's your favourite character?
Sora.
Oh, mine's Axel, definitely.
Good characters.
Who's your favourite character, Barger? Goofy?
Yeah. Wait.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.